Chapter 3 is carbohydrates. Now you can't get by very long in life without protein, and you can't get by very long in life without fats, but you can go a heck of a long time without carbohydrates. Now you don't have to worry about it because carbohydrates are in everything. It's a rare food unless it's pure fat or pure protein. I don't know how you'd ever find a food like that. Theoretically, most foods are going to have a little bit of carbohydrates, but if you want to do one single thing to improve your life and increase your longevity and reduce your likelihood of degenerative disease or the symptoms of your degenerative disease, it's lower the amount of refined and processed carbohydrates that you eat. And that includes, unfortunately, fruits, because those are refined and processed. The farmer does it, though. He refines and processes them genetically, and he modifies fruits to be super sweet. And I can always tell if a nutritionist knows what they're talking about, or a dietitian or a healthcare professional, if they say, when they talk about nutrition, if they say fruits and vegetables as if they're one word. Because they're not. They're two completely separate entities. They are not one and the same. And then you can right away, consider as some philosophy as not passing the bullcrap test, if you know what I'm saying, if fruits and vegetables got lumped together. Because invariably, when we read fruits and vegetables, and we read we're supposed to eat more fruits and vegetables every day, we read, oh, I could do that, no problem, because we read fruits and vegetables. Like that. I can eat fruits and vegetables. Let's see, banana, honeydew. I can cantaloupe all day. No, unfortunately not. Because the good stuff is in the peel or in the vegetable. That's where the good stuff is. See, what we consider the good stuff is the way the divine force protects the plant. The divine force has given it chemicals to protect the plant. Those pesticides, natural pesticides that kill other animals, go into our liver and stimulate it to produce anti-cancer compounds. Or go into our skin to protect our skin from the sunshine. We call those phytonutrients or plant nutrients. Beta-carotene, bioflavonoids, phytoestrogens. You probably have heard some of these terms bandied about. All of these are things that the plant makes to protect itself from the environment. They're defensive molecules. But when we eat these tiny little amounts, they go into our liver and turn on our liver. Because remember, a little bit of stress is a good thing. That's why you always want to drink a little bit of alcohol every day. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I said a little bit, FYI. I said a little shot-ski. Nobody's talking about going out and getting hammered here. A little shot-ski. You know, why? What does that do? Why do they say people drink a little bit of alcohol, they live longer if they do it on a daily basis? Because a little bit of poison stimulates your liver to produce anti-cancer compounds and anti-aging compounds and youth compounds. A little bit. Little tiny bits. And that's how plant nutrients work. That's how phytonutrients work. They're actually poisons. Did you know this? The plant doesn't make the bioflavonoids for our benefit. It makes it to protect the plant either from the sun or from bugs. Gluten. You know how everybody used to have gluten? You know what gluten is? Gluten is a way that the wheat plant punishes those who would be stupid enough to eat it. That is the plant's retribution. You see, seeds don't want to be eaten any more than you or I want to be eaten. So, you want to eat me? I'll get you. See, nature has the last laugh. And that's what we call phytonutrients. These plant substances are really defense mechanisms. Plants are so smart that they don't even care about you. They care about your babies. They'll make birth control. Phytoestrogens. You ever wonder why plants make estrogen, which is a female hormone? Why would a plant make a female hormone? Because if the rabbit eats that plant, it ain't having no babies. It's thinking one generation ahead. How cool is that? How cool is that? That's pretty smart for a plant, you know? Next time vegetables, they ain't no dummies. So in any case, these phytonutrients, they're the medicine, and they're not in the fruit, except in the peel. That's why you always want to eat your peels. In fact, does anybody know the difference between a fruit and a vegetable? What's the difference between a fruit and a vegetable? Kwame said seed. A fruit is like an ovary, and a seed's like a baby. So in a plant, a fruit is structured where you have protection to the ovary, then you have the sugar, the energy in the middle, and then you have the seed. And the seed is sleeping. And seeds are very medicinal. Seeds will kill things because seeds aren't supposed to be eaten. There's all kinds of nasty things in seeds. Anybody hear of something called laetrile? What's laetrile? Anybody know? Laetrile is a medicine for cancer, and it's in pits. Remember how they ever tell you not to eat apple seeds and peach pits and all that stuff, right, when you're growing up? Because seeds have things in them that woe it is to anybody who would eat them until you put water on them. And once they put water on them, and the light, we'll just call it, hits the seed and the water, everything is released, and we say that seed is now sprouted. And a sprout has turned a seed from one of the most deadliest toxic foods you could ever eat into the most important food you could ever eat. Because it's now pure life. From pure dormancy, pure sleepiness, isn't that cool? From pure sleepiness into pure life and light. And all of this is in the seed area. Now, the reason I bring this up is because a fruit is nature's way of protecting a seed. Vegetables don't have that, so their medicine is dispersed throughout the leaf or the flower or the plant, which makes vegetables incredibly important as a source of carbohydrates. They're unbelievably important, and you want to be doing vegetables throughout the day, especially at the beginning of your meals, especially if you're trying to lose weight or eat less food. Vegetables are very filling, and always combine your vegetables with fats. In fact, when you combine salt and spices and vegetables and fat, and you put a little bit of heat, a little bit of steam, a vegetable goes from something that's bitter to something that's the most delicious food you've ever eaten in your life. And if you don't believe me, don't eat for a couple of hours. Go steam some broccoli, put a bunch of butter on top of it. Hello? Feeling it? All right? All right? All right, broccoli. And that's got this reputation, right? Oh, broccoli, right? The most delicious with salt and your favorite spices and lots of butter. Lots of butter, and steam it. Delish. Your kids will love it. Why? Because you explode the flavors with the fat. Fat makes everything, the flavors run along your tongue. We're all craving salt. We all have salt cravings, and when you put liberal amounts of salt, foods become irresistible. And the combination of the heat from the vegetable releases the sugar, and the combination of the sugar from the vegetable with the salt from the spices with the butter with the oil from your butter activates all your major taste centers. So eating good does not have to be a struggle. It can be so darn delicious. And when you eat broccoli and butter and salt and somebody puts potato chips right there, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You won't even go near that. You will sit bright green broccoli with the butter and all the salt on it, and the big chunk of butter that's sitting on the top just dripping down there. And then somebody puts potato chips, they'll look foul. They'll look like the devil's work. Yeah, I'm serious. You'll look at those. What are those things? Who pooped that out, man? You know, that's what you'll be looking at. I'm serious compared to the green and the life force and the livingness on the broccoli. All right, that's how easy it can be. All right. The last two chapters in your macronutrition are fiber and water, and fiber deficiencies will keep you running for food just as fast as anything else will. And this is where fiber becomes very important, and for dieters, fiber becomes very satisfying, and for women, fiber is very protective against cancer, because fiber helps clear the body out, clear toxins out of the body, specifically toxic estrogen. And I wish I had more time to tell you about toxic estrogen, because it's a big problem, but suffice it to say, fiber helps clean toxic estrogen out of the body. So making sure you're grinding up fresh flax seeds every morning and using them by the spoonful or putting them in soups. I put them on top of salads or smoothies. You go to you have Whole Foods out here? Whole Foods? I'm going to tell you.
I still don't know how we're going to avoid the gluten.
How you're going to avoid the gluten? Oh, tell me your name.
Doris.
Doris said something very cool, and I got to repeat it, okay? She said, Doris says, I don't know how we're going to avoid the gluten. And the reason that's cool is because I wish I had 12 hours here with you, ma'am. I would spend the entire night with you, but I don't. And this is just supposed to give you a flavor of what's possible. There's no way I could tell you everything I know in 30 years in 2 hours. It can't be done. I can't even do it. I've been doing it on my radio show for years, and I learn new stuff all the time. So it just keeps getting more and more and more. What I want you to leave here with is an idea that you have some control over your life. That you have control not only over your bodies, but you have control over your emotions, your mind, your spirit, and you have control over your wallet ultimately. Because if you like these are ideas that we talk about all the time. I just came back from a meeting in Las Vegas where we spent 3 days talking about this kind of stuff. Not just the health stuff, but also the business stuff. And I've been doing this with longevity for 17 years. Pete's been around for 2 years now, 2.5 years, something like that. Pete and Pam, Nasima for 4 or 5 years. Cass probably, I don't know, 3 years, something like this, 1 year, okay? I've been doing 17 years, and I am so proud to be associated with Dr. Wallach and with this company, because if you feel what I'm trying to communicate here, it's more than just words. Do you guys get that I'm trying to communicate more than just words? There's an empower. Okay, you got it, right? That's what this is all about, and that's what we're all about, ultimately, at longevity. That's what we represent. So I don't want you necessarily to think that this is strictly about all the different things that you can do in terms of the specific tactics to stay healthy, although there are some good tactics here that you're going to find, and I'm breathing and using water correctly. There's some good tactics, but it's more of a strategic overview that I'm trying to give you that says that you have options. You have options to this failed model of medicine that we have bought into, that got grandfathered in, got snuck in, unbeknownst to us as innocent babies. We got snuck into this model. How many of you heard the word meme? M-E-M-E. This meme, this belief system that says that the doctor can help us. I'm here to tell you, as a representative of the medical model, former of sorts, I'm still a pharmacist. I don't know how much longer they'll let me be a pharmacist, though. But I don't know. I sent my dad a tape once of me talking, and I thought he'd be all proud of me, and I never heard me. He calls me back and goes, "They're going to kill you! They're going to assassinate you! Are you crazy? Do you know what you're doing?" And I had never thought of that. He said that, and it never crossed my mind. I'm just telling you what I know. So just for the record, I'm not suicidal, okay? Not depressed at all. I'm happy. I like life, no problems anywhere, okay? Just being clear about that. No, I'm just kidding. Look, I have to tell you this, and that's really the bottom line. And I'm not done with the chapters because we got a few more minutes, but I want this to be a strategic kind of message, not a tactical message where I'm Mr. Health Guy and I tell you to blend this and drink that. I don't. I want to empower you to understand you have options. Your liver and your gallbladder and your blood supply and your heart are none of the doctor's business. If you get hit by a car and you need stitching up, praise Jesus. There's a doctor for that. Okay? If you need stitching, you need repair, you get a heart attack, I love it. Eye transplants, that's awesome. But for the day-to-day, what we call in the world of medicine, ambulatory medicine, where you ambulate means to walk, where you walk into the doctor and out of the doctor's office. This is not the role of medicine. This is options for us by breathing, relaxing, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, using strategic amounts of stress and lots of rest, making sure you're on the mighty 90 essential nutrients, using protein supplements, getting on the ultimate essential fatty acids. These are all things we could do ourselves that will change our lives immediately with little cost, no toxicity, the way it's supposed to be. So I didn't mean to give you my big wind-up there because I got 3 more chapters here, and I'm just going to go through this real quickly, and then I think we have to leave right at 8. So I'm going to be at Oak Lawn, right? Where's my Oak Lawn friend? Did she leave?
Yeah, she's going to be.
Okay, so I'm going to be at Oak Lawn if you want to come by, and we'll continue this discussion.
So Saturday, will you be able to?
Saturday I'll be at this...
at the VFW. So
at the VFW.
And you can hear a little bit.
Right, and then somebody said there's a meet and greet somewhere. Who told me that? I might be at the meet and greet earlier. Crystal Festival. Okay, so you got, and then water. Just, there's all this controversy about water. One of the neatest things about water is it's very satisfying, and when you think you're hungry, you may just be dehydrated. So exploit it and take advantage of it, especially first thing in the morning when we're mostly dehydrated. Especially if you've gone to the bathroom a couple of times, you're going to be dehydrated first thing in the morning, and when you're dehydrated, you feel tired. That's one of the signs of dehydration, is that you're fatigued. So first thing in the morning, most of us are fatigued. And if you've gone to the bathroom 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night, certainly you're fatigued because you're dehydrated. But what's even worse when you go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, once or twice, is not only do you lose water, but you lose water-soluble nutrients. You lose the B complex and you lose electrolytes. And the B complex and electrolytes give you electrical energy, especially for your heart. And we have an epidemic, if you guys haven't noticed it, of heart disease. And because the B vitamins are so intimately connected to the health of your heart, and because every time you urinate, not just in the middle of the night, every time during the day that you urinate, you lose your B complex. If you're not replacing that B complex, you are instantly going to become deficient in your body because they're water soluble, they're not stored. That means you become deficient instantly. And if you can come up with a way to replace those electrical nutrients, the B complex and what we call electrolytes, throughout the day, in my humble opinion, you are crazy not to do it. Especially first thing in the morning, and especially when you after you go to the bathroom, and especially if you're one of those people who's drinking like me, who's drinking a lot of water. The more water you're drinking, the more important it is to replace the B complex and the electrical nutrients, which is why I've been doing this 17 years with longevity. I've seen thousands of products coming through the pike. The most important of the longevity products is something we call Beyond Tangy Tangerine. And this is what Beyond Tangy Tangerine is. It replaces water-soluble electrical nutrients in a very tasty, easy-to-use fashion that allows you to give yourself an IV drip. In effect, what is an IV drip? A steady-state dose of electrolytes and B vitamins. It tastes great for most people because one of the great gifts of the human body is the sicker we are, the faster we turn it around. The more weight we need to lose, the faster the pounds drop off, and the more nutritionally deficient we are, the faster our body absorbs nutrients. And if something is water-soluble as opposed to oily, things in nature are either water-soluble or oily. That's a major distinction. Think peanut butter and jelly. Is jelly water-soluble or oily? Water. Is peanut butter oil-soluble or watery? Oil, right? If you put peanut butter and jelly in the sink on a spoon, what's going to rinse off first? Correct. It's water-soluble. Likewise with the B vitamins and the electrolytes. They rinse out first. Correct. And they rinse out quickly. So if you have an opportunity to dose yourself throughout the day with the B complex and electrolytes in a water-soluble form, especially first thing in the morning, especially if you're diabetic, because diabetics are losing lots of sugar-metabolizing nutrients in their blood, do you think you want to do that? First, do you think that if I could tell you a product that would replace those nutrients and taste great and cost you about $50 a month, you think you'd want to use that? In my opinion, IMO, just my opinion, you're crazy if you don't. Absolutely crazy if you don't. And the most important product, and we have a lot of important products, is something we call the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. If you haven't had an opportunity, Pete can tell you all about that. Right. Is it samples? Perfect. Sip on a sample. You did 2 of them? You did 2 of them. I'm telling you, you should see the letters I get. I'm the lucky guy who gets the letters. I get to see all the people who benefit. And then the last chapter is going to be the fat-soluble vitamin, or no, I should say there's 2 more chapters. The fatty vitamins, those are vitamins D, E, A, and K. Most important, they're all important, but A and D are stupendously important. K and E are also important. I don't want to give them short shrift. But A and D are also very important, but they're only found in animal foods. They're not found in plants. Or you can go out and get the sun, which is unbelievably important for you. Do not buy into heliophobia. Fear of the sun. Don't buy into it. Doesn't everybody know they feel better when they're out in the sun? All of us. How did we buy that line? Hook, line, and sinker. You're supposed to stay out of the sun. Get some sun and naked. And don't freak out the neighbors. They don't want to see that, okay? I'm just talking health. And don't fall. And don't fall. All right. And then the last chapter is the minerals, and that's really where Dr. Wallach really cut his teeth. Dr. Wallach understood that mineral deficiencies, because he was a farmer, he was raised on a farm, he understood that mineral deficiencies are at the core because the plants need the minerals to produce their thing, to absorb, to create B vitamins, to make proteins, to be healthy themselves. And if the topsoil is crap, which it is, you guys know about this whole problem? It's huge. Huge, 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 huge. The topsoil is supposed to be an organism. It's supposed to be throbbing and dynamic and moving and morphing and changing. And we put chemicals on it that kill things. And now the soil is dead. This is the problem. Organic, there's this whole debate about organic or not, whether or not you believe that it's healthy or organic. For the soil, it doesn't believe it have a problem. It knows organic is better for it, because of all the crap that's in the soil. So long story short is mineral deficiencies are incredibly common. This is where Dr. Wallach cut his teeth, and this is, he's brilliant on so many levels, but this is his claim to fame, was to understanding the importance of mineral deficiencies as a core of disease. And again, our Healthy Start Pack, which Pete could tell you about, which features the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, is a way of replacing the minerals. So you've got, if you're interested in participating with Longevity and me and Pete and Pam and Nasima and Kaz, and helping us in our mission, we're looking for an army. If you're not even interested in being part of the army, if you just want to have a business, that's great too. And if you just want to be hanging out and using the products, we welcome you aboard that way. And if you have, even if you just want to be around and you just want to talk and ask questions, we also welcome you that way. So bottom line, we are so much greater than we know. We have so much more capabilities to reverse our diseases, whatever they are, but you can't do it at the level of the leaf. You got to find what they all have in common, and underneath all you'll find a lack of safety, a survival need, an activated sympathetic nervous system, a stressed nervous system that on some level is overwhelmed, it's trying to save us, but it's going on over and over and over again, and it ends up showing up as a breakdown in the digestive system, a blood sugar problem, thyroid, adrenal, the triangle of disease. How do you do it? Well, first and foremost, you work on relaxation, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, small amounts of stress. Make sure you're oxygenating, and then use your 8 chapters of good nutrition. I didn't say this because I didn't have enough time, but the last 2 things is if you want to focus on 2 parts of your body, focus on your digestive system, you especially digestive system first. Don't pay attention, nothing else. You know, I hate to cook. That's the last thing I'm going to say. Okay? And then you got to take care of the blood sugar second. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then we have to go. I hate to cook. Right? And it's not so much that I hate to cook. I hate to clean. I don't mind cooking. I can cook all day if somebody's going to clean after me, right? And so when I'm done cooking, the few times I motivate to cook, I look at the counter, and it's like a friggin' war. It's like an explosion in my pot cabinet. You know, everything is all over, and and I want to go to bed. You know, I don't want to look at it, but I know I'll regret it the next morning, so I grin and bear it. But what I noticed is that as much as disastrous as that looks on my counter and in my sink, if I take one fork and I wash that fork and I put it in the dishwasher, and then I take the top off the pot and I wash it and I put it in the dishwasher, and then I take the nasty dish and I scrub that up and I put it on the dishwasher, and I just do one by one by one, within no time at all, I look around and the whole darn thing is done. And that's how we have to look at our health and how our breakdowns. And the sicker we are, the harder it is. One piece at a time. One chunk at a time. Don't beat yourself up. You want to trend. And by the way, this is true in life about anything you want to get. When I started my business many years ago, I always knew I had to do at least one thing every day that pushed me forward, that trended me in the right direction so I could sleep well at night. And so if we do one thing every day to get better, if it's focus on your digestive system, if it's do a food diary, if call Pete up and get on the Healthy Start Pack, if it's sipping on the BTT, looking for problem foods, whatever it is, if you do one thing every day, pretty soon your darn kitchen is going to be so clean you won't believe it. It'll be radiant and shiny, as we all should be. Thank you very much. You guys have been great, and I hope we see you again. Hope we see you again soon. Thank you.
All right, and thank you all.